Have you ever heard the saying, "What goes around, comes around"? Well, today's story is a perfect example of that. It's a classic tale from the Brothers Grimm called The Queen Bee, and it teaches us that even the smallest acts of kindness can have the biggest rewards. Our story begins with two princes who set off on an adventure. But they weren't your typical heroic princes. They lived a wild, reckless life and completely forgot about their home and family. Back at the castle, their youngest brother, often called Witling because people thought he was simple, decided he couldn't just leave them. He set off to find his brothers. When Witling finally caught up with them, they just laughed at him. "You think you can make it in the world?" they sneered. "We're so much smarter than you, and even we're struggling." Despite their teasing, the three brothers continued their journey together. Soon, they came across a large anthill. The two older brothers, always looking for some cruel fun, wanted to stir it up. They wanted to watch the tiny ants panic and scramble to save their eggs. But Witling stepped in. "Leave the little creatures alone," he said firmly. "I won't let you disturb them." So, they moved on. A little while later, they reached a beautiful lake where a flock of ducks was peacefully swimming. Perfect dinner. A brother exclaimed. They planned to catch a couple and roast them. But again, Witling intervened. "Leave the creatures alone," he insisted. "I won't allow them to be killed." His brothers grumbled, but they listened. Their path then led them to a huge old tree. Tucked within its branches was a massive beehive, so full of honey that it was dripping down the trunk. The two eldest brothers had a wicked idea. "Let's light a fire at the base of the tree," they plotted. "The smoke will choke the bees, and we can take all the honey for ourselves." For a third time, Witling stood in their way. "Leave the little creatures alone," he declared. "I won't let you harm them." Eventually, the three brothers stumbled upon an enchanted castle. It was eerily quiet. In the stables, they found rows of magnificent horses, but they were all turned to stone. They wandered through empty rooms until they reached a door at the very end of a long hall. It was secured with 3 heavy locks. In the center of the door was a tiny peephole. Peeking through, they saw a little gray-haired man sitting at a table. They called out to him once, then twice, but he didn't seem to hear. On the third call, he finally stirred, got up, and slowly undid the locks. Without saying a single word, he led them to a grand dining table, laden with the most delicious food and drinks. After they had eaten their fill, he showed each of them to their own bedroom for the night. The next morning, the little gray man appeared at the eldest brother's door. He beckoned for him to follow, leading him to a stone tablet. Engraved on it were 3 impossible tasks. Completing them was the only way to break the castle's spell. The first task was to find 1,000 pearls belonging to the princess, which were scattered in the forest, hidden beneath the moss. The catch: the task had to be finished by sunset. If even a single pearl was missing, the person would be turned to stone. The eldest brother, full of arrogance, accepted the challenge. He searched all day, digging through the moss. But by sunset, he had only found 100 pearls. Just as the tablet warned, the moment the sun disappeared, he was transformed into a cold, lifeless statue. The following day, the second brother, thinking he could do better, took his turn. He searched and searched, but his fate was no different. He managed to find 200 pearls, but it wasn't enough. As dusk fell, he too was turned to stone. Finally, it was Witling's turn. He went into the woods and began to search in the moss. It was a slow, frustrating task. The pearls were so small and hard to find. He felt his hope dwindle, and overwhelmed with despair, he sat down on a stone and began to cry. But then, something amazing happened, okay? As he sat there weeping, the Ant King appeared, leading an army of 5,000 ants. These were the very same ants whose lives Witling had saved from his brothers. In no time at all, the tiny insects swarmed through the moss, and before long, they had gathered every single one of the 1,000 pearls and piled them up neatly before him. Task 1 was complete. Now for the second task written on the stone tablet. He had to retrieve the key to the princess's bedchamber, which lay at the bottom of the lake. When Witling arrived at the water's edge, he saw a familiar sight. The ducks he had protected were swimming towards him. Recognizing their savior, they dove deep into the water and brought the key right up to him. Task 2 was complete. But the third and final task was the most difficult of all. He had to choose the youngest and loveliest of the king's 3 daughters. The problem was, all 3 princesses were lying asleep, and they looked absolutely identical. There was no way to tell them apart, except for one tiny clue. Before they fell asleep, each had eaten a different sweet treat. The eldest had eaten a piece of sugar, the second had a little syrup, and the youngest a spoonful of honey. Just as Witling was starting to panic, a friendly buzzing sound filled the air. It was the queen bee from the hive he had saved from the fire. She flew straight to the sleeping princesses. She hovered over the first, then the second, and finally, she gently landed on the lips of the third princess, the one who had eaten the honey. Instantly, Witling knew which one to choose. The moment he made his choice, the enchantment was broken. Everyone who had been turned to stone, including his 2 brothers, woke up and returned to their human form. The entire castle came back to life. And as for Witling, the so-called simple brother, he married the youngest and most beautiful princess. When her father passed away, Witling became the king and ruled with kindness and wisdom. And his 2 older brothers, well, they had to marry the other 2 sisters. It just goes to show you that compassion and respect for all living things, no matter how small, is a true sign of strength. The kindness Witling showed to the ants, the ducks, and the bees came back to him when he needed it most. It's a powerful reminder to always choose kindness. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this wonderful story with me today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more classic tales. See you next time.